This is Supermonaman. It's my reaction to RTX 2017 Voice Acting for Animation panel. So Voice Acting for Animation panel from RTX 2017. And I'm really looking for this. And I just really want to know what these other panels are like. So we should start in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, that's hot.
Just
15
continue
years
to
talking
talk
about
amongst yourselves. We'll be ready in 50 more minutes.
Mike's went away. Hang on a second.
We came out here and there was a man furiously picking mics up. I don't know what's happening. All right.
Hello?
I'll share a bit. Okay. Whatever you want to do.
We got candy.
Wow.
Oh, you get your own mic.
2 of your dreams came true. Everyone else, I'm sorry. I don't have strong arms. You dream buster.
I just want you all to know that we have notepads. Like, we take notes.
Wow.
If Tech could turn on the wired mic all the way.
Yeah, let's try record. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's what became a race, right?
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I sense fatigue in this room.
Hey,
So,
Nick.
I
Are
don't
you
know
tired? Have you done the weekend properly? Are you tired? Are you a little tired?
Vic is always the life of the
Are your
party.
voices a little
Besides
tired?
Barber, Vic is always the life of the party.
Then you did it right.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean,
Welcome to the
Stop
last day
wrong,
of
probably.
RTX 2017.
I was repairing recordings out of order, and I don't really care, honestly.
And if Tech backstage could please turn on the other wired mic, we'd really appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, welcome to the voice acting for animation panel.
Yeah.
My name is Gray Haddock. I'm the head of Rooster Teeth Animation. I used to voice a guy named Roman Torchwick. I guess I still kind of do on JB.
Like, Roy is always
And
reserved.
Locust and Doyle
I don't think
are
he
the-
liked. He did not like that World had that they had
and
that
a whole
they
bunch of
decided to
stuff
write
for a
World.
whole bunch of other companies.
He's still salty.
anime
I'm
and
pretty
stuff
sure
like
he's still
that.
salty.
Let's just go down the row and introduce ourselves.
Hello, I am Lindsay Jones.
Yeah.
I voice Vanessa Kimball in Red vs. Blue. Thank you. Space Kid in Camp Camp and Ruby Rose in Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Space Kid.
Is that fucking Aaron?
My name is Michael Jones. I play. Oh, hello. I play Max in Camp Camp.
Damn right you do.
Wukong in Ruby. And tiny little parts of background characters in real animes that I'm not good enough to be the main character.
Oh yeah, I know. Instinct. Instinct, right?
Hey, I'm Shannon McCormick. I'm the voice of Agent Washington.
Okay, this is dead. I mean, this is RTX.
Professor Ozpin and Ruby.
Fucking almost looks dead.
Master,
Like, saying
and
kind
other
of
assorted
dead. I'm
quarter
sorry. I mean,
campers
this is the last day
in
of
Camp
RTX. It's just
Camp,
insane discussion. So,
and then a bunch of
Sorry, so
other
I'm not surprised.
and other titles and properties. So thank you guys.
Hello, I'm Jessica. I voice Cinderfall.
oh, it's the Barbara. Barbara. Stuff to the nice.
I also do
Sorry,
the
from
voice
far
of-
away. Right over the actual block.
Who's talking to me?
Like,
I also do the
Barbara's
voice of
blonde.
Supersonic
Instead of Jessica
for the English
Degrees.
anime and game dub, and I do some other things
Jessica
that I can't talk about yet.
Degrees. Instead of Jessica Degrees. Blonde. Check her color.
Hi, my name is Miles Luna. I voice David in Camp Camp. I voice Sean Ark in Ruby, and I am Cronut and Felix in Red vs. Blue.
Hello,
everybody.
I'm
My name is
Rick
Vic
Vignana.
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 I'm the
Vignana.
old one
Jesus,
here.
Jesus.
I've
Jesus Christ.
been doing
Rick, what
this
the
for a long
fuck?
time. I've done over 300 different
Oh,
animated
Lord.
series,
I'm Barbara
video
wasn't
games,
here.
Full Metal Alchemist,
Damn fucking right you did.
Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon,
Don't stop,
Digimon,
don't stop.
Naruto, Bleach,
Don't stop.
or on
don't
High
stop.
School Host Club.
Yeah, woo, yeah. Atomic shooter, bitch.
Just fall in love.
And
Fall
I
in
love,
Just fall in
all
love.
you commoners. But no, I am and Crow in Ruby.
Oh, just
And I just want to tell you guys how much I love being here.
I
love this
Brucey,
experience.
I can't do
I've
cross
heard great
voice.
things about RTX for years.
I'm pretty sure Vic probably has a hard time doing cross voice.
But I wasn't a part of
It's
anything,
normal
so I was so privileged to,
Just
to
way
be
more
a part of
gravel.
Ruby and
Gravel
to come here
is
and meet these
gravel.
amazing people that do what
His
they do
regular
out of passion and love.
It's a motion
It's
for
the only reason to do anything, I think. And so,
Don't
sorry,
stop,
but I'm so
don't
happy
stop,
to be here.
yeah.
So thanks for having me.
Don't stop, don't stop.
I know, right? Thank you for being here. This is so cool to sit next to you.
Mm.
Hi everyone. My name is Jen Brown.
Oh, Jen, oh. I'm sad.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm
I'm
sad
from
now.
Carolina on Red versus
I'm
Blue.
sad now.
I am Kira and Lisa Lavender on Ruby.
Cue
I
people
am
solving.
Jared on Camp
Cue
Camp.
people, cue some people solving.
Harley
Cue
Quinn
some
for
people
DC
solving.
Online.
In the audience.
Day 5, but that's not voiceover.
Oh my god.
stuff.
Jen,
I do
Jesus,
stuff.
you're
I do a lot
normal.
of stuff.
Oh, you're sweet. You're a sweet person.
Hi, I'm Sam Ireland.
Hi, Samantha. The bees.
I was CT on RDB. And
The bees
I
knees.
play the
Really
flower
running
scout
bees
on
knees.
Camp Camp all 3.
Damn right you do. Fucking does impress me.
I play Nora on Ruby.
Yay!
Nice. Nora.
Please say that again. Just say Nora.
Nora!
Oh, Jen's
That's totally going to be my ringtone. I'm making that my ringtone.
Yeah, I'm loving seeing everybody. This is fantastic. Like, if you hadn't figured it out, we actually hardly ever cross each other's paths. Everybody gets recorded one by one at the booth, or like in Vic's case, from California. But anyways, yeah, it's fantastic for seeing everybody. Thanks for coming out today. Yeah, I thought that we would just talk for a bit about what it's like to voice act. How do you get into your characters? How do you get into different characters? And how did you guys get started? You know, where you know, some folks you've been doing it as a full career. Some folks kind of stumbled into it. So let's just talk about how you guys got into the biz.
So can I question the rest of them?
Monty Elm was like, yo, you want to be in my show?
Monty fucking man.
In all honesty, for a lot of people within Ruby, and that's kind of the beauty of it, is we started
Fucking Monty,
because we were
man.
connected to Rooster Teeth, and Monty had this vision, this idea of what he wanted the show to be.
Nice
And
to
he
you.
wanted that to include
Monty's
his
so
friends
great,
and
man.
coworkers. So for us, we were privileged enough to have him come to us and say, hey, I would like you to audition
Those
for Blake.
candy.
And
I
he
feel like
believed
it's
that I
candy,
think he would
right?
be good for Blake.
Those are just
I'm not sure
marbles.
which, and then we auditioned for
Candy.
Blake. So, okay, Ruby would work.
Why is
And here we
there
are.
candy on the team? I mean, looks good. Looks like for good candy, but
For me, I kind of had a similar thing where I mean, I watched anime and played video games ever since I was a kid, and it was always something I really
Yes,
was
you should.
interested in and wanted to do, but
Seriously.
never really
Anime's really
pursued
good.
beyond
should be
making fun of
used.
a lot of people on
It should be
YouTube.
used more fun, but
I feel like that's where a
pretty
lot
sure
of my voice
some
acting
people play
first
don't.
started.
I think most of them do. It's like with reunions.
And, you know,
anime stuff.
starting at Rooster Teeth, I had
all
the
the time
opportunity to have
is-
a couple of small lines in Red versus Blue. And,
Yeah,
like
just
Jason
slowly
said,
trying to.
you know, when Monty was creating Ruby, he had a small part that he wanted, you know, me to try out for, and it really started from there. And I really enjoyed doing it. And
God, yeah, your
tried to pursue
your
it a little
acting
more,
as
and I
Simon
was
has
fortunate
really
enough
improved.
working at Rooster Teeth and to
It
able to
basically started
an
as
audition at Funimation.
basically
and
started
ended up getting
you with the
part
last
of King
person.
Euclid in Fairy Tale.
They might
So,
sting, bitches.
I've been
You're
doing that for
basically,
about 2 years now.
when you're
So
starting to play yourself
I kind of grew from there, you know, meeting other
with different
directors, doing
experiences,
little parts here and there,
and
and
their
background
person.
characters
So,
and stuff. And I'm just trying
telling
to
you,
learn as much as possible.
besides me,
about
guys,
acting,
the only person I
how to
expect
move
to,
roles, and something like that.
I expect to
I still have
curse,
no idea what I'm doing.
like a real curse would be son.
So my first
I'm telling you, son's
full
eventually
voice
gonna.
acting gig
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be
was,
surprised when
I
son
did a bunch of dubs for
son eventually just drops, just start dropping F
now
bombs.
closed lamentedly ADV
Not as exaggerated
studios that were here in Austin.
as
They did
not
have me
as
coming back
exaggerated
to
as
K9 was really
not
awesome.
as
I did
like it makes you,
Akabane
but
in Get Backers was like the
for
first big
for
role, but I
appropriate
had some smaller
moments.
roles before that. And the really cool thing was I'm a theater actor and a improv artist, and the people who ran that
Honestly,
studio
you're a
were
good
all awesome
voice
theater people,
voice
so
actor.
they just hired all their actor friends to come do dubs for them.
Well,
And
that's
then
how you got started, huh?
that led to
I don't know how to do that.
collaboration with Red versus Blue, and I thought it was just a
Red
wonderful
versus Blue's
gig.
great.
And here I am
Wash.
10 years later.
You're washed.
You're trapped.
I'm trapped.
You're
I'm
trapped.
really,
Yeah.
I'm so over
With
it.
me.
But the other question is like, when did you start? And I always tell people like I was doing dumb voices from before I can remember. There's like a family story of me running around the house when I was like 2.5, quoting lines from Friar Tuck in the old Disney Robin Hood movie, screaming "Get out of my church!" And then my kindergarten teacher had to tell me to stop breathing like Darth Vader, which I did all day
Oh.
long. Like, you gotta stop doing that. So I was like always just doing goofy voices, and then I've been able to get
You can't. I'm sorry. I
clients
was
for that. So
voice.
yeah, so that's me.
I'm like fangirling so hard up here right now. I don't know if you guys can
Well,
tell.
Jessica.
How I got started was how everything kind of started with voice acting was all because of Monty. I remember Monty found me at New York Comic Con, and he was kind of like, "You want to be a bad guy?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." And he had this vision of kind of making this character that, or like putting me in this character that was so opposite of my personality. And he's like, "I really just want to surprise people with what I can do." And I honestly just it was life changing what he did, and I think he's just fantastic. And I think we
Stay
should
where he
round of
is.
applause for Monty because
Oh.
Yeah.
I have so many feelings. Oh yeah, and then I did Supersonico.
Suicide.
Yeah, one day, my friend.
Sorry,
Hey, I have an idea for this really nerdy character, and I think you'd be great for him. Sweet.
Sorry.
And then I
Became
wrote a
gone.
character for Red versus Blue named Felix. That was a horrible backstabbing son of a bitch. And
Yep.
I went, I think you should audition for him. And I went, sweet. And since then, I've questioned who I am.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I wrote a really peppy, enthusiastic camp counselor, and Jordan said, I think you should audition for him. And I said, sweet. It's
for
really just
miles,
fun. I mean,
for miles.
I've been doing theater
You
since
probably
I
feel
was in middle
like
school.
great.
Before that, I was in the Boy Scouts doing skits around a campfire and making goofy voices and parroting everything I heard from Monty Python's Argument Clinic and all sorts of stuff. And I would always impersonate my favorite South Park characters in middle school. And I don't know, I like doing goofy voices, I guess, because I'm weird.
You're great, Miles. Don't worry. Weirdness is great.
That's how I got here. It's pretty weird.
Oh, she's always cheering up, man. She's always cheering up. No.
I know there is a God because I am here right now. You can't write this stuff. You know, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far
Wow.
before the mountains formed, the dinosaurs ruled.
Jesus.
I've been acting since I was very young, like most of us. Did a lot of theater. And about 18 years ago, I was living and working in Houston, and somebody said to me, hey, I was working on a video production, and they said, hey, you've got a lot of background in acting, don't you? And I said, yeah. And they said, you should go and audition for this place in town called ADV Films. They buy these Japanese shows, and they dub them into English, and they're looking for actors. Now, what what I did not say was, well, how much does it pay? Or how is this going to be distributed? All I heard was acting. And as an actor, you want to act. You look for chances to act. That's all you really care about is I want to do the thing I love. So I went and auditioned, and I got cast as Vega in Street Fighter 2. And it was the weirdest thing because I'd never done any kind of voice.
Really? Wow.
And I thought, well, I left that day, and I thought, well, that was a fun, one-time weird thing to do in my life, and I'm going to go back to the normal things I do. And a couple weeks later, they called me and they said, hey, we got another show. Do you want to come and be in it? And I was like,
That's your guys cooking.
okay. And another, and another, and another, and then fast forward a couple of years, and I was at an anime convention. Now, I'm a Star Trek fan, and I went to Star Trek conventions when I was a little kid, but I didn't even know there were anime conventions. And I went, and I met people from Funimation, and they said, hey, you want to come up north and be in Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, that's right. Wow.
And I was like, okay.
Well, that's why.
Started doing work with Funimation, and met people from New York, and Supermonaman, and then meet people from LA, and start doing Vampire Knight, Naruto, and all that stuff out there. And I could have never planned this. This is where I was going with that comment. I would have never imagined in a million years.
I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. Pretty awesome.
I was a little kid. My friends and I would do voices from Speed Racer.
Oh my god.
And I had no idea Speed Racer was anime.
Oh my god.
I just knew it was weird. You know what I mean? It didn't look like Scooby-Doo. It didn't sound like Bugs Bunny. It was just different, but I liked it. So fast forward all these decades.
It all started with fucking Speed
so
Racer.
I am extremely grateful because I didn't plan it.
Wow, you can't make that shit up, man. Damn.
I love hearing all of that.
I'm going out to RTX.
Well, like,
I'm going around to
I'll
RTX.
try to figure it out. I started doing theater when I was really young, and started doing theater really young, and I got a lot of compliments on my voice when I started.
Also just her normal voice for
Tracy Ullman was like my hero when I was younger, and I would
like as Caroline Pure, some different things in her normal voice, which makes it's close to her normal voice, which is why it's so interesting.
In high school. You did HI? Yes. So I used to do Tracy Ullman's humorous interpretation for debate and speech competition. And yeah, it was so great. Anyway,
God, she's such a sweetheart.
That's kind of how I started playing around. I really liked messing with my voice.
She's so adorable.
And I ran a theater company for a really long time. I honestly stayed away from doing any sort of film or TV or voice. I was just kind of I am a serious theater actor. Look at my beautiful art. And after a couple of years of doing that and loving it, but also kind of being I want to do more, and I've always loved cartoons, and I've always been a huge animation nerd. And I was like, you know what, I want to do more voiceover. And right when I was I want to start doing voiceover, I met Anna Hullum. And we became friends.
That's such a wild lucky.
We became friends while we were working together for the Austin Junior League. And she kept telling me about her husband's company. She's like, oh, my husband has this company, Rooster Teeth. And I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. Oh, tell me about it, please. And we would talk about it, and I kind of forgot that she told me. And a year later, I see an audition post for Rooster Teeth, and I'm like, oh, it's that company. That's Anna's husband's company. I'll submit, my headshot and my resume and whatnot. And so it was for Red vs. Blue. And I submitted my stuff, and I showed up, and they were like, oh, okay. And basically, Bernie and Matt had no idea that I was an actor. They just thought I was Anna's random friend. So they weren't paying attention to my audition at all. And then when I started talking, I just saw Bernie go, look for my headshot. He's like, wait, you're an actor? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Wow, Bernie, Jesus Christ.
And then I got it.
Bernie, what the fuck, Bernie?
You're perfect, you're great. And that was
what
really
the fuck,
fun. So that's
Bernie?
how I started my Rooster Teeth journey. And then I started working at DC Universe Online with Alex Keller, who is a badass. and started doing Lashina and a whole bunch of Green Lantern like side characters, and just I've probably voiced like 20 different characters for DCUO, just little small little parts, random woman, random person on the street, whatever. And then I did Lashina, and then Alex was like, "Hey, Arlene is retiring," and I was like, "What?" And then he offered me Harley Quinn, and I had a heart attack and fell on the ground and was the happiest person on the planet
Wow.
for a really long time, and I still am really happy about that.
By the way, I'd like to point out I'm the very first person to ever get a Harley Quinn figure autographed by you once you had the part.
It made me so happy when you were like, "I have to get you first." I was like, "Yay!" Yes, please. I get to sign his Harley now. That's so cool.
Before
Yeah.
Tara?
So yeah.
Okay then.
Just
Even
auditioning.
before Tara Strong, damn.
And trying to get more.
That is really nice.
Oh.
Very sweet.
And y'all will like this because Sam and I at that audition, that's where I met Sam. And for that initial audition,
just waves
and
awkwardly.
I remember hearing her and being like, "Oh, this girl's so good. This girl's so good." And I hear the CT side was like a paragraph long. I remember this. The CT side was really long, and the Carolina side was like 2 lines.
Right. Oh my gosh. I completely forgot that Samantha would voice fucking CT.
This is who I want. And it's still an amazing character. She's
I
she's so good. She's my favorite.
I feel like I should.
Best.
I should know that.
Stop it.
How did I not remember that? I knew that at some point. I had to. Sam
and I was like reading it. And
CT.
Oh, wow. So she's got this so great. And then they gave me this 2-line character, and I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool," you know. Turns out it's like this like super badass character.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I also get to meet the beautiful Sam Ireland there.
Oh, stop! Oh, you're destroying her with that. You're killing her with kindness.
Very similar to everybody else on this panel. Yeah, I grew up doing theater ever since I was 8.
You can definitely hear Nora in her normal voice. Like Nora's voice is very different. It's very different inflection and tone of her voice. Well, not that much. Very different inflection of her when she voices Nora.
It's like competitive acting, and it's a one-man show. You get like a 10-minute monologue, and for comedy, you usually play multiple characters, and you pop, and you have different voices, physicality, and everything. It was one of my favorite things to do besides theater and high school.
Favorite things.
And
so how you hear it over there.
Comedian Bill Hicks. I was this little 16-year-old girl doing Love All the People, his book.
Oh, oh my God, Jesus.
Competition, and I went to state with it, and so yeah, you could be a middle-aged man at 16 years old, but
wow.
if you want.
Jen's dead. Jen's just done.
But I did fall into voice acting. I'm not formally trained. I hate saying that, but it's true. And
you shouldn't really know that much. It's true. You can't just say it's not true. It is.
I met everybody there, and so I was CT, and then CT, you know.
CT, man. Wait, were you the original CT? Or the so you were the original CT? And so you were also the original CT? So you were the original CT? And the actual CT? And the CT who faked her pretending CT because our CT's actual memory? Oh, nice.
The best character.
Damn right.
I love her so much.
Nora's great, though.
It worked, and I went in there, and I felt
Oh,
great.
it's the hard to Jen.
Instantly, and it was the best Christmas. I got the phone call that I was going to be her.
Oh, you got Christmas.
I don't really do much voice acting outside of Rooster Teeth, to be honest. I'm auditioning like everybody else for commercial work, any kind of stuff. I've done voice acting for live action, which is pretty cool.
Interesting, cool.
Besides that, I'm just here in this realm, and I'm really, really grateful I fell into it. Because
can imagine how surprised you would be. Like anyone who gets anything is just gonna be surprised at how they got there. Like, I'm here now. I can't believe it.
What I love about hearing everybody describe how they got into business, for people that are thinking about getting in, or if you are right now trying to get in, is that there is no common thread. It's all sort of random. You just have to kind of start doing it. Maybe
And
it's because
she's not wrong. She's right.
demo reel and you're actually putting it out there, or you know people, or you just hear that there's an audition and you go for it. But I love hearing stuff like that. I um, I grew up with these things called cassettes. That
Wow.
yeah, no,
I
it's
listen
my
to
Lindsay
it, Grandpa.
Jesus. Lindsay Fox.
show of hands. How many people understand what you do with a pencil and a cassette? With that, okay. Oh, my people.
There's still hope
Awesome.
for the future.
Okay, yeah. So,
Cross Lindsay Jesus
but
Christ.
I had like all the stories on cassette for Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark and a bunch of movies that kind of came out around then, and would just listen to them over and over and over.
Oh, that's so cool.
And would then insist on doing all the voices, much to my friends' chagrin when we would play that stuff. And I hadn't realized how much just playing around as a kid and mimicry kind of laid a decent foundation for that. Cut to, here's a shocker. I was a big fucking geek in high school.
What?
Yeah, no, I know.
No
Surprise.
way.
Yeah, but
I
was
can't
a
believe
theater
it.
geek. So junior high and high school did a lot of theater. I was formally trained in acting, which, by the way, made me so much money and went right back for a computer science degree. If that tells you anything. But
Wow. Yeah.
I look much better off camera. So and people tell me, you've got a good voice, you should start doing this. And after a lot of people kept telling me, no, you've got a voice, you should try something, I've been thinking about giving it a shot. And connected with an agent here in Austin and was doing a bunch of like real estate commercials for radio and things like that. And then we were talking about ADV films. So then I got this call, hey, do you want to do something narrative?
Oh.
Yes, and
If you're an actor, if you're an actor, why wouldn't
Was my
you
very
say?
first
Why
big
would you
gig.
say no?
And it just kind of took off from
Like
there.
unless you're a very famous
Did a
actor,
lot of things through
unless you're a very
the
famous
years,
actor,
and look at all
you
the wonderful
you
people
have
a lot of people understand.
option to
Sano,
anything
Sanosuke,
else.
Rurouni
You know, like a
Kenshin.
part.
Not the earlier stuff, not the first
Client.
episodes, but like the
Why wouldn't you, right?
run. And then and just kind of kept going. And then did other stuff in the day job. I was voice acting on the side, and
Fair enough.
started
Fair
getting more
enough.
focused on production. Started working for Rooster Teeth, and had been at Rooster Teeth for about a year. I started off as a VFX artist on RBB9, and
Interesting.
10 rolled around. That little magic fucking thing happens where they came down and said, "Hey man, want to record a line?" Yes, I'm your guy. What am I doing? You are soldier number 2, and you're gonna get shot here in just a second. I'm like, I don't care. This is awesome. So you've got the 2 Green Marines standing on a hangar deck early before the freelancers land on the hangar, take the guys out.
Oh, I remember that.
And keep shooting.
You played that guy? Oh,
Thrilled to
there's
have anything in a Rooster Teeth piece. And,
played that guy, really?
the guys
Oh,
from Smosh
nice.
and they re-recorded the lines for the guys from Smosh. So it wasn't until much later with Ruby that the Monty factor kicked in, and was doing compositing and some editing and stuff on Ruby, and then Monty said like, "Oh hey man, you've done voice acting before." I'm like, "Yeah." "What are you doing here?" was his question. I'm like, "Well, doing production stuff now." And but then he asked me if I wanted to do Torchwick, and we were into it.
This is just very fast.
But I kind of like to tell a
I'm
story.
the man this is right now.
We have guests.
Unfortunately, I can still hear it. You go in like here too, just like
down the
lower
street
than
from where
I expected.
And
So-
the cool thing about it is I'm glad that we can finally give everybody like a real
Phew, that's
audio booth to record in. The history of Rooster Teeth
Off.
can be told through the history of recording for
Yes,
the show.
it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it started off, I think, their first recording booth was Bernie's closet in the back of his apartment, and they.
Which,
Oh
to be
my
fair,
gosh.
is, if you don't have a home studio, the best place to record audio.
No, seriously, and
Yeah.
points again. Hey, pay attention. What you do, you just need to find the most sound deadening corner of your house or apartment or whatever. And in their particular case, it was his bedroom closet. They would leave the clothing sound more, they would hand you a mic and a script, and presumably, either flashlight or turn on the light and say, go in there and record your lines. And
Wow.
then
Gosh.
after that, they were downtown for a little bit. When I came on board, they were at 636, and it was still literally a closet, and it shared a paper-thin wall with the company bathroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
so what we would do is whenever we were recording folks for RDB, we would put up a sign at the bathroom door that says, please don't use the bathroom right now, recording in progress. And everyone's like, screw you, I'm going to go. So, we would be bringing these professional actors, and we'd be like, okay, hold for flushing.
Wow, it's hilarious. Holy shit.
At least they're washing hands, that's cool.
I think we got.
And they're done.
I think we got like one good fart recorded. Yeah, but it was like
Oh my God.
like distant, like very just like.
Oh, God, Jesus, that's hilarious. Wow.
And
Something
then,
was
and then, yeah, no, it's
Wow.
just been amazing to see.
Wow, just Jesus.
Rooster Teeth cares about its actors, and we're investing in like really cool environments now, and keep everybody in a good
That's
place.
pretty cool.
It's gonna be comfortable.
It's pretty cool. Fire
Play
Rooster Teeth
around
from
run around
like,
in the booth if that's
yeah,
your
like
thing.
14 fucking, like,
I think
14, 15 years ago, was it?
Test. I
Yeah.
say that every time I come to the new booth, how much I love it, and I physically run in circles in it every single time.
Yes.
I'm not exaggerating.
Wow, Michael.
It's very
Wow.
Although the last
You're
couple
ridiculous,
times
I love
I've
you,
come
man.
in to record,
Sounds hilarious.
I'll go to adjust the mic because I'm a little taller than most of the actors, and they'll be like, no, don't touch that there. Miles broke that.
Miles broke it.
You have to do this. You have to only move this knob because Miles broke it.
Yeah,
Wow,
Alina
that's-
doesn't let me adjust the microphone anymore.
Yeah.
I over tightened it.
I was gonna say too. Just
She's
thinking about
excited,
it
he gives up.
right now. For us, or like our generation, for lack of a better term, me, Michael, and Miles, and I assume Jessica could relate to, is like we got our start with loving things like anime in like 7th grade. So Toonami was a big factor for that. I feel like that's the gateway drug.
Fucking Toonami. Fucking Toonami,
Gateway
man.
drug into anime. They got us. But I mean, we grew up
Wow.
looking up to these voice actors and hearing their performances, and for a lot of us, that's people that we're currently working with now. I mean, like Vic obviously comes to mind, and then I was a nerd and I came up to Gray at work and I was like, "Did you voice the Nosuke in Rurouni Kenshin? I love your work." But it's
Aw.
very awesome to be able to work with these people and these
Aw.
people we've looked up to for years and years and years.
Friendship.
And here we are.
So what she's saying is that some of us are old.
Yeah. If
I
it makes me blood
mean-
thinner later on, I'll give
Yeah,
you
just a little bit. I'll go for it.
Let me. How many
I
people
mean-
have recorded off of another actor at the same time, or has everyone always just done it, one track at a time?
You
Well,
mean
like you're the only person in the booth, and not, or you have another person that you've been able to act to, and which you like, or.
Well, Shannon and I got to record together.
Yeah, we did
This
for
year,
RBD
which was-
15. We recorded the Washington Carolina
Shit,
stuff
how
together. That's the first time Jen and I had done work in the booth at the same time. It's great.
Wow, that's
The
awesome.
setup
That's
is-
awesome,
I think
wow.
You're gonna have to take it up a notch again because the setup was a little weird, so that we wouldn't pick up each other's dialogue on our respective mics. We did all of our acting with our backs to each other, which is a little weird because it was a super intimate moment. I'm touching her hand and all this stuff, and we were back to back.
She did mirrors.
Yeah.
Well, it created
Mirrors,
a lot of
oh.
like hilarious moments where we're like, we're trying to connect, but like I can't see you. So like when we talked about this at the last
Wow.
yesterday, but that last moment where we have that the little car wash moment where we grab
Aw.
we get a little finger hand action, and
Oh, Jesus, don't say it like that.
oh
my God.
we were
Look at
we were
Miles.
record that, and then he has that really
Miles.
I have a very
Died.
suggestive
Very
line
suggestive
that I
line.
said as suggestively as I possibly could.
He said it. It was like Buffalo Bill, y'all. It was the creepiest shit, and I
I want
broke.
to hear it. I wanna
I
hear it.
broke down.
I was like,
laughing.
I'm going for this line, y'all. I mean, in my head,
Go, dude. Go. Do it.
Take off your armor.
What the fuck, Shane? Jesus. It was a little weird. It was a little weird.
Ah!
They've already
trying to
shot.
shrink into body. Maybe not. Pull that back a little bit, Shannon. Maybe not that. Maybe not that.
We're not that far.
Well, cool. We could
We're
probably
not that
talk
far.
about it forever, but why don't we take some questions from the audience?
Questions are always good. Oh yeah, feeding frenzy.
Calm and orderly.
Calm and orderly. Yeah, it's okay.
Don't you run. If you run, I'll be like, get out of here.
Take off
Wow.
your armor.
I was about to say.
Holy fuck, Jesus.
Cool. And
They're
we'll
dying
start
inside.
right here to my left.
Hi, Lindsay, Michael, from all of us, congratulations on Iris.
Yeah. Maybe Iris.
We'll all be looking forward to her autograph session next year. One thing I want to know, do your characters like ever bleed into each other? Like, does Ozpin and Quartermaster ever switch jobs? Does Edward Elric ever talk like a drunk bad luck charm?
I want to answer the Ozpin Quartermaster question because it kind of came up the other day. I've realized that if Rooster Teeth has a property which they may need a character who perhaps is immortal and exists outside the bounds of space and time, I will probably end up using that character's voice. So their voices are very similar, but I feel like I'm being typecast as an immortal. So there you have it. I'm 700.
Jesus. Oh gosh. Years old.
That didn't answer your question.
I'm fortunate enough where I've got Sun Wukong and Max, so I'm pretty separate there. They're pretty polar opposites.
There are times when I'm doing Space Kid and it becomes a little too Ruby, but luckily, like, I guess whereas both of the characters kind of accept like people criticizing them or talking shit to them, they're just like, yeah, it's okay, like no big deal. Thanks, Max. So that's totally fine. But I guess like the timbre of the voice sometimes gets difficult, and we have to re-record. There's a few times where like I don't know, Ruby will bleed into Space Kid, etc.
I think if I'm ever doing Locus with any other character, I know I've gone wrong. So it's
the fact that you could bounce back and forth between General Donald Doyle and Locus was still something I thought was so
insane.
And they kept scheduling on the same day. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, seriously, there's get Gray in the booth and get everything for the next couple of chapters of RVB. So it'd be Doyle followed by Locus.
Which essentially the difference between those two is a glass of whiskey.
Damn.
Both David and John.
So you get to drink a glass. Wow.
Oh, I mean, I could do Cinder and Sonico together. I feel like it would be a terrible combination.
Cool. Thanks for the question.
Edward Elric plays with no one. He's a loner. You know,
wow.
I think you're talking about combining characters, right? You know what I would say, and I think this is like a teachable moment from a voice acting standpoint. Voice acting is about acting. It's not about changing your voice with every character you play. Some of us have very recognizable voices, and it's very easy to go, oh, that's so-and-so, or I recognize that voice. But when we're cast as a character, the goal is not to change your voice to some voice you've never done before. The goal is to play the character honestly and authentically. I've often used the example, like, you know, you take a popular...
That's pretty good.
Robert
Pretty good for your voice actor.
He played a million characters, and he always sounds like Robert De Niro. Because his goal is not to always change his voice. His goal is to play the role. So it's more attitude. A lot of characters, you could pull one line from 10 different characters that you played and string them all together and go, oh yeah, that's clearly the same guy. But if you watch each of those shows, the character's personality and their attitude is
that's a good fucking,
that's
a good fucking play actually, Nick.
As opposed to just voices. It's really about acting. So they can kind of bleed over unless the actor is really focused on the character, you know, on playing the character and communicating the character's personality.
That's a really good answer. Thank you.
One line too, I think we can all agree, but it's so awesome when you find that one line that gets you into the character you want to play. And that's like the best trigger to get you into the performance mode also. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about any line things from shows.
Ruby.
Like, that's it. That's it.
What's yours for Ruby these days?
For Ruby, it's hi, I'm Ruby, like over and over again, introducing herself, or well, one teacher in particular. And
Let me ask you, do you warm up differently for chibi at all?
Not really chibi. It's the same voice, just a different thought and personality going off of Big said. So like it's happier, so you just kind of forget all the bad stuff that happened in Volume 3.
Yeah, yeah, nothing
Here's
bad
so
ever happened. Nothing bad ever.
Yeah, Torchwick was just always, hello, Red. Just, oh yeah, just a couple of syllables. It's like, yeah, that's him.
I
Little wreck, little wreck.
when I go to the booth, whenever I have to do Pyrrha, it's just lots of John, 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 John. I just say John's name like over and over.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
Jesus,
like,
I would have expected, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jean.
Sorry.
Jean, I named my teens Ren, Nora, Pyrrha. And he's very, Jean tries to be confident but isn't. So it's like, right, okay. David is just, good morning, campers. Oh, Max. And then, like you were just saying, honestly, Felix's voice isn't that
Miles
good.
never
I use way more of an asshole. So I just go and
Yes, it's just Miles, but
So that's
if you're an
Carolina
asshole.
for me. I mean, Carolina's basically me, but just a little bit deeper.
Yep.
Just a little bit. It's the easy. It's the most like comfortable. Like, oh yeah, I could live here. This is good. This is nice. I like this. Yeah.
This is nice. I could
I
live
like
here.
doing GB Sun because Sun is like if I was just a nice person. I think it's like right. That's what Sun would sound like. And then GB Sun is like him on crack. And it's just like
Jesus Christ almighty.
It's always some absurd
Wow,
thing he's
Miles.
doing
What
in
the
GB.
fuck?
I think, by the way, I need to go ahead and schedule. If you guys have any more stuff for Locust to record, if we can like do that tomorrow, because it turns out convention voice grays. I'm already warmed up. Let's just do this.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm cosplaying as Soldier 76 later, and I'm just walking around going,
Oh my god.
oh, Soldier
Of course you are. Gross.
I've got you in my
Back in
sights.
mind. Back in mind.
I need to leave.
Yeah.
We also get the benefit of working again with our friends or our coworkers, like playing off of Miles. I think of warming up for camp with Space Kid. Like sometimes he'll just talk down to me, and I'll be like, "Okay, whatever. Thanks, Max." Or for Max, when Michael warms up with you, Michael, would you like to demonstrate what you do to warm up, please?
Are you ready to go, Max?
No.
No, come on.
No.
Come on. I
Suck
know.
my dick, David. I don't want to do it. You piece of shit. I hate him. I hate everything. I hate nature.
Wow. Jesus, Sam. Damn, Michael. She channeling his
Love that
inner
energy,
rage.
Max. Keep it up.
It's hard.
Channeling his inner rage.
Like doing Max, he's like up there where like I'll lose him sometimes in the middle of doing a line. So I usually warm up like that, but it's funny in the middle of line recordings we'll be doing a line and I'll be doing the line and be like, well, I don't know. Suck my dick. Suck my dick. I don't know about that. You motherfucker. I don't know about that, you fuck. I do all.
Wow, Miles. Jesus.
By the way,
That's actually hilarious. It's awesome.
A master craftsman. A master craftsman.
bonus points to the fan that goes ahead and takes the audio of this panel and animates that moment. By the way, before we move on,
Sounds
do we
like
have
you, probably.
any other voice talent that has worked for Rooster Teeth here in the audience? I thought, yeah, hey, so stand up. This is William Orndorff, everybody. William.
Oh.
Do you got a second? Can we pull you up here? Yeah. You got. Oh man, he's booked. I'll tell you what. I was going to tell you what he's done for us before. I'm just going to let you hear it. Come on up. Come on up.
Wait.
This is about to blow your fucking mind.
Wait. She's the guy who.
Be a case of the Maples. You want to direct me? Give me something.
He's the guy who does the grammar.
I'm sorry.
He does all the grammar. Well, that's awesome.
William has been doing the voice of all the Grimm ever since Volume 1.
That's so fucking awesome, man. Like he
The
do
These
that.
days.
like literally all of them, like even the weird, creepy like clicks of the Death Stalker and the Seer as well. The Knuckle Lady, that's well. It's like, and then he also plays Hazel, the softest
Hazel
spoken
Flight.
of the evil characters.
You play Hazel.
And how about our sound team? Is anyone here from
Send
the
me
sound
that.
team for Street Animation?
Hey,
there's
Kyler.
Hey, Kyler.
Stand, Kyler, stand.
Get
So
up,
our
Tyler.
script
Get
supervisor,
up.
Tyler.
Awesome.
Let's have a moment.
Seriously though, like the first time we saw Will do any one of the Grimm, I remember Carrie and I were looking at him through the booth, and he did this like, I can't do that. And I just remember I turned to Carrie and I went, what the fuck? He's not human. So awesome.
Oh
That's a good
Jesus.
point, though, too.
That's
Like,
hilarious and
you're
awesome. Holy shit.
playing a character, which it is, and you get to speak
You're also
to
playing
characters.
animals.
There's also
Like
perspective
Dean Bradley
on
Baker does sometimes.
playing creatures or making certain sounds or things with your voice. Like D. Bradley Baker comes to mind immediately. That guy can do
Duh.
anything. And same thing when you watch him do his voice recordings. You're like, what the fuck is happening? This guy is nuts. But he gets the job.
What's also interesting is that even if you're playing a main dialogue character, then you're still going to have to do a lot of vocalizations for
Pretty awesome, actually.
gestures, for action scenes, for subtle emotional moments. There's a little game. I don't remember who dubbed it. I've forgotten if it was Carrie or
It was me or Carrie, I don't remember.
yeah. It turns into a
So
little
what's it called?
Pooper Sex.
So we record, we call them efforts.
Wow.
Fight exertions, taking damage. I have found that offensive efforts sound like you're pooping. Whereas taking damage sounds like sex.
Yep.
I feel like that plays a lot about like your sexual life.
Oh.
Thanks, Jess. My parents are in the front row. Hi, Mom. I'm an actor now.
Seriously, that was the thing
Wow.
that you objected to? Of all the things that happened on this panel, that
All the
bothered
things we've done,
you?
Miles. Really? That's
Doesn't bother you.
Let's take another question.
Yeah.
What
Take off your arm.
Miles. Praying to God.
slide are we on next? All right, go.
All right, well, I'm actually a writer, but the thing is, I see like Miles and a lot of the other writers in Rooster Teeth, and actually a lot of other things, they voice a lot of their own characters. Now, I'm not very confident in my own voice acting skills, but would you say it would be, like you would say go for it for trying to do your own character's voice? Because I would think no one but the writer would know the voice exactly, as that's the one we're going for.
I think the question was if you write the character, is it easier to voice the character?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends if you're also directing, because if you're directing and have written that character, then yeah, you probably have a really fucking good understanding of that character. But one of the things I love about voice acting is I'm kind of a pudgy white dude, but I can be a sword-wielding knight or a villainous mercenary, or I can be Cinder sometimes.
Okay, so the only way I was
Oh
able to
no,
voice
for
it
Miles
was
then.
had
She never
Miles
catches the
do
point.
all of Cinder's lines first. And listening to Miles do sexy, sultry, evil woman is my favorite thing. And I need you to release that. It's so great.
Miles.
I will never
Miles doing
release that
any
shit.
character that's not him is amazing because he commits to it. Like, it doesn't matter that it's not ever going to be used or ever going to be heard. He doesn't fucking care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
I
Exactly.
salute you. Greer.
Oh, Sarge is my favorite to do shit.
Simmons.
So it's great. It's
Oh,
great.
That's actually amazing.
What you need when you need to know it.
Oh,
So good.
Christ. Gosh, how Miles.
But
Miles
what I was
died.
getting at though is
Come
like,
on, Reese.
like Vic was saying earlier, which I think is 100% true. Like, voice acting is acting first, and then maybe extra voice stuff second. But like, I couldn't do like Hazel. I couldn't do Locust. Like, so yeah, I guess I still like Felix in the later years. Like Matt was the one, because at first I was like, I sound way too young to be Felix. But now I was like, no, give it a shot. And then once I was like, okay, cool, I'm Felix. Yeah, going into the booth was really easy and made it fun. And also in those days, whenever I was having a problem with an Xbox 360, I could go in and be like, hey, can I please record some fucking Felix lines right now? Because I need to get some rage out. So that was good. I had to do Jean one time, though, when I was pissed. I was like, God fucking damn this shit. All right. Ruby, hey.
Wow. Wow, Miles.
Next.
It kind of ties into the whole acting thing and warming up to become your characters. I was wondering how you would take the direction you're given for Locus or David or Felix or Edward and Elric and like find something in yourself that brought that voice out, like rage for Felix or being completely done for Locus. Like, where do you go to get these voices?
Dark place.
Jessica just sits in a closet for a few hours by herself.
No, I just go into
Oh,
my
God.
comment section in every one of my social media things.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, I'm there.
That's right.
I mean, I think the key to acting, and I think the key to making any art is, there's some saying that like by the time you're 5 years old, you've experienced all of the possible range of emotions that you can have, right? All of these different depths of despair and love and joy and whatever. And I think the real key to being an artist is finding those avenues into yourself to tap into those things. It's not like any of us don't have the capabilities to be any of the characters that we play from an emotional standpoint. So the real trick is just kind of that, whatever the inner workings are of like, how do I get in touch with that place? And sometimes it's hard to find those things in the character if you're like
He's not wrong.
yourself to yourself. But
I can't imagine.
it's really, we've all got the capability to find those characters because we've experienced all those things. That's my take on it. That's my take on acting in general.
I think it differs too for everyone, like process, like what works for you isn't always going to work for each person. So it really is like find.
These are really, really good questions for these actors.
Trauma in my life, but I don't like pulling from that trauma directly because I feel like it sticks with me. So I tend to use physical recall,
Questioning the answers,
body gestures to kind of bring emotions to the forefront. That's me. So it kind of depends. It's different for everyone. It's different for everyone.
Actor, actress.
I do daydreaming a lot, and
Wow.
because I'm a big Meisner nerd, and so I like to do vivid imagination and vivid dreams and daydreaming just because I don't like.
Question.
I
Actors and actresses.
tell for everyone. I haven't been through serious traumatic events, but I feel that I can recover faster from pulling from something of complete imagination, and that's what I kind of.
Cool answer.
I don't play a lot of characters in voice acting, but I do like in other parts of the world of acting, and that's like everyone's saying, it's different for everybody how you get into that
Fair enough.
depth. What avenue is good for you, and that gets you the best results too, and multifaceted results as well. So, but
Okay, fair enough.
they asked that, like, Loki, but for you to like get there, right?
Oh, I mean, I think a lot of what everyone was saying was pretty valid. I would just tack on, you have to find what works for you, like you were saying, but it's also what works for that particular day. Which also kind of goes to what Miles was saying, that there's some times where, depending on what's going on around the office, it's going to be really easy for me to go in and work out some frustration as Locus, or maybe towards me. There's going to be other days where, you just have to have a different bag of tricks and bust.
You're really valid advice right here. Interesting.
Just a bunch of self-awareness and stay kind of centered, so that
Fair enough.
you go into the direction that character's attitude needs that day. It's kind of a rough way to explain it, I guess.
I don't know.
You know what else, Gray, is that it all ends up having to come through your voice. There's a lot of different types of acting, right? If you're a stage actor, you have a whole bunch of things to draw from to communicate your character, right? You have your facial expressions, you have your body language, you have your costume, you have the makeup, you have a whole number of gestures. You have a whole number of things to choose from to communicate your character without ever saying a word. But when you get into a little box, into a little padded booth, in front of a microphone, you make mean faces, and none of those things will actually communicate It all needs to come through the voice. And that's the little trick of it. I've seen
That's
really
yeah,
good
what's your
actors, and I know you all have, really good actors come into a booth to voice act,
They don't know what the hell they're
it just
doing.
doesn't work. It doesn't happen because they're so used to communicating through visual means and other means. Great film stars that you hear in animated features that are flat as a pancake because they're used to communicating with cute little faces that they do or some little shtick that they do that you love on screen, but it doesn't work in voice acting. So that's really a trick. I've seen people that have been in a booth and they've been crying and it sounds like they're laughing. I mean, that last single element of making it come through your voice, whatever that emotion is supposed to be, is really the trick.
It's very hard. Like especially in animation things. Animation can be hard. Like it's really hard in animation to do that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
absolutely.
getting from
And
this.
also, like to your point, like the faces I make in the booth when I am doing any of my characters, dear God, I would never make those faces on stage or on film, ever. Especially on film. I look like a crazy person. I'd never get work. Like, ever. While I do use my face and my body for voice work, it helps, but I look insane. Like, it's just you. I don't. For me personally, I feel like it's different for like we were saying for every actor, but like in order to help get my voice there and to really, really display the emotion for everyone, I play a lot of pretty intense characters, I'd say.
Right?
And in order to get that emotion,
That's
like, I have to physically be really over exaggerated in order to get that to come across. But like that would look like so silly on camera. Could never do that.
I love to see it.
Branching off of that too,
I love to see it
what do you prefer,
just
voice
for a
acting or
laugh.
acting on film? And I think everyone I talk to say, "Oh, I much prefer film. You can actually emote like physically, and that will read your character." I say, I think I enjoy voice acting because you don't have to worry about your physicality.
Yeah.
You get to look like a weirdo. Who cares if it sounds good? It sounds good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very freeing.
Yeah, for Ruby especially, there's a behind the scenes video that Gray did where like because Ruby's so high energy, like I kind of go into dolphin mode in the booth where you're doing a lot of
Dolphin mode.
moving around like yeah. But hey, sounds good.
Thank you. Next question.
Hi. I have two questions, but one's quick. Is that cool? Sure. Okay. Can you do the locust voice?
Yes. No.
Like he's here.
Yeah, no. It's locus is a man of few words, and big middle takes a couple. Actually, he's getting frustrated with Felix. Also helps. Felix.
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Yeah.
Come on, one more murder.
Yeah. There's a great deal of just. He tends to vocalize a lot, like this guttural stuff. This unfortunate. You know, always just this one little punctuation.
Wait, Greg, can you do bedtime stories in that voice? I feel like I could listen to that when I fall asleep.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is, what is like the biggest difference do you think between theater acting, film acting, and voice acting, and what do you all prefer?
Biggest difference? I mean, I think Vic touched on it a lot when you talked about, just the voice acting. It's got to come through your voice, and that's the only tool that is at your disposal in the final product, right? So I mean, for me, because I do all of this, I do all three. Theater acting I love because of the immediate feedback from the audience, and that is an incredibly powerful thing. And I would never want to live in a world where I didn't get to do live performance, whether it's improv or scripted acting, because you and the audience are an entity that only exists in that moment, and the audience is a vital component of the performance.
It's so powerful.
It's so very, very powerful. Voice acting is really cool because of everything that everybody said. You only have one tool. It's like a drawing as opposed to a painting, right? You've got a pencil. You don't have a palette of all the different things. And then film acting is really cool. Film acting is really weird because
It's a lot of subtlety.
It's a lot of subtlety, and it's also the process is so fractured but so repetitive, right? So you're like this scene that we're doing is like two people sitting at a coffee table and you're having a conversation, but you do it 19 times because you have to get coverage from all these different camera angles. And so it's its own little thing where you can keep digging into it because you're doing the lines over and over again, and 80% of them don't make the final cut because they're just going to take the ones that work. So that's kind of cool because, like, you know, for voice actors, yeah, yeah. So
you don't do rehearsals.
I love them all. Keep hiring me.
So to jump on that, so for voice acting, you have everything that Vic and the gang were talking about, where it ultimately you only have the voice to communicate through, and so you have to be listening to yourself and be used to hearing yourself and understanding that what you're doing, whether it's the tension in your throat or extra gestures you're throwing around in the booth to add a little extra texture to things, you know, what effect is that having? And then for film and theater, yeah, you still have the voice there, and I mean that needs to ring true. And then it's the physicality of it. For me, because I did theater for much longer before I started playing around on camera, I had a whole I had to have it during the break because, say we were talking about you know, using Shannon's example a couple of minutes ago. If it's a, you know, person-to-person conversation at a table, you know, this gesture's fine while you and I are talking. You know, maybe I'm doing this little thing with my finger that tells you that I'm kind of tense right now or whatever. If that's theater and we're sitting across from each other on a table on stage, the person at the back of the house can't see that at all. This is not going to read. Whereas, like, if it's an extreme close up, you know, and it's projected on a 70-foot screen,
that's
you know, the more
good point, actually, very hard.
it's moving crazily across the whole screen. But in theater, you're going to have to kind of do this a little bit more, and you're not cheerleading exactly, but I mean, like your gestures have to have that much more energy to it, so that they can kind of understand when you're frustrated.
This leads to one of my biggest pet peeves in the world, which is radio pieces of theater performances. They always, I think they sound terrible. KUT, stop recording actors on stage doing their lines because it sounds so phony, but because it's devoid of the context of what happens in a theater. If you were in the room watching that play, it would seem normal. When you listen to it on the radio, and the other stuff, God, these people sound so fake. I hate theater.
Well, it's the same. It's the same when you film theater production. Like if you film a stage production, sometimes it works if it's
what is
something
this
that's
like
right. Sometimes it works if it's like naturalism, like Neil Butte, or if it's something that's like a theater, it's a piece that's meant to be performed very naturally in a small space. It works on film, but most of the time, you could have an absolutely stunning production where every single actor is amazing, get standing ovations every single night, and you see the film version of it, and you're like, wow, I'm terrible. Like it just, you have to be in the theater for some of those experiences for it to work.
I understand.
That's my baby. Like that was what I grew up doing. That is my life and my favorite thing in the entire world. And I feel like there is no substitute for going and seeing live theater. The impact and the effects that it has on your life.
I actually
and what it can do to change you, the way you can see humanity, the way you can see people, and how things can actually affect others that have nothing to do with you. It changed my life. Doing theater and being raised in theater, I love it. I miss it. I get to do it every once in a while now. It's my favorite form of acting, hands down. Different.
Sorry, I know we're speaking about different genres as well. For preparing characters,
that's the reason.
since we don't have physicality when we do voice acting.
You know, I do love plays. Plays are always the one thing. Plays are actually great.
That helps me find the emotion. Whereas, like again, with film and theater, you have the physicality.
I don't think that some versions of plays,
that's what I love about
musicals
theater.
are
You
really
get to
good.
live the role from the beginning to
I
the
understand
end.
why
And with like
what
film and voice acting,
I
like
got that.
you go in, you do it real quick. You got to get there fast.
I
You
love
gotta
plays.
be in. And with theater,
Plays
you
are
get to
really good
ride out the
music, so.
experience and experience the characters. I'm sounding like such like an art asshole right now, but it's so
goddamn hippie.
It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding, and to get off stage and be like,
For the rest of the voice, man.
nailed that. Like you just feel like you just it's so, and you know, I don't know. I love it.
Interesting.
I really miss theater. I I did it for so long, decades. And now, if I go sit and if I go to a stage play, I literally sit there I'm white knuckling it. I'm holding on to the armrest because I want to be doing that again. And but it takes a long time. You know, you have to commit a lot of time to mounting a show. Rehearsals and then shows every, for how many weeks you're going to run. It's a big time commitment. And I've always liked to equate conventions with you guys here at this moment. This is kind of the audience portion that you don't get as a voice actor.
That's sweet.
You're in the
Way of
mood.
thinking of it.
If you say something heartbreaking,
Nice way of thinking of
there's
it.
nobody there crying.
Well,
And
maybe
if you
Miles.
say something funny,
Ray
but
Mouse.
if you know what I'm saying. If you say something funny, nobody's laughing. You're sitting alone doing these lines, praying to God that the emotion you're trying to communicate is going to come across. But you don't know if it's going to.
Fair enough.
In
Oh,
theater,
damn.
you know.
Crazy way of thinking of it.
You connect with the audience. When you say something and you hear the audience go, you know they're there. You know what I mean? Or you say something funny a certain way and with some humor and they laugh. You feel it. There isn't any of that.
Oh, wow.
So to come to
You
an
just
event,
feel how much
people,
she cares about you. Like how much passion he has with you.
that broke their heart or that they laughed for days. That's the other side of the equation of that theater experience that you don't get as a voice actor. You know?
But speaking of the yeah, no, but speaking of that, it's also the live interaction, just hanging out here at RTX and getting to talk about this stuff. I think it was really, really cool for everybody to come out and chat about this stuff. We're over time, so we're going to have to take off now. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody.
Take care.
Quintessential questions or something. Like seriously, wow. That is total really, really good questions. Like damn, that got deep. What makes actors act, actually acting? How they feel about it. Like that was really fucking good. Wow. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And you can find and message me on Twitter. And you can find and support me on Patreon, both of which can be found in the links in the description. And finally, for my outro, from my favorite anime reviewer, Jetsu Otaku, sayonara, bye bye.